Right. Oh, sorry, people.
Maybe you can take
Okay,
the
it's
plug
pretty sensitive. Our
Maybe you should take the plug out because it looks very unstable.
let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Well, hi.
Hi everybody.
We're on day 16. 16 today. Pretty juicy. As in Abraham still hasn't bared children, yet he was told by God that he would bear children, which was very interesting because
So we're up to chapter 16 today.
yeah, Sarai. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaiden, an Egyptian whose name was Hagar. And then she goes and says to Abram, have my handmaiden, which he does. Yeah.
Hagar means flight or forsaken.
Oh. She's Egyptian.
Egyptian.
Mm.
And so when she became pregnant and conceived, she was lording it over Sarai, who then went and complained to Abram, who then said, well, she's your handmaid, do with her what you will. And then she was being sassy towards Hagar, who then took off into the wilderness, and an angel of the Lord came and spoke to her, saying that her son, we're going to name him Ishmael, one of maybe about 5, I think I read somewhere, of people in the Bible, including Jesus and John the Baptist amongst them, that were named before they were born. And so Ishmael, Hagar, told by the angel of the Lord that that she would bear a son and that his name would be Ishmael. And what does Ishmael mean? Ishmael, the Lord hears. Also saying the type of person that he would be, a wild man who would be in conflict with everyone that he encounters. Yeah? What else?
What else? Yeah, that he would be a donkey's ass or something like that. And so he, yeah, when you're told that by the angel of the Lord, wouldn't you want to say, well, how do I change that? Or something, but yeah, back then they never questioned it. Back then they did question things, but then it was done where they shut the mouth and then they couldn't speak anymore.
It's another example how man tries and does things of their own, on their own strength. The Lord had already said to Abram that he would be the father of many nations, but maybe with his conversations with his wife Sarai, maybe they even talked about it at that time that, well, how are we going to have kids at our age? In fact, it's coming up in the next few chapters where she's laughing about, how am I going to have a baby? How old was she when she gave birth to Isaac?
Well, I know he was 90.
He was 99. I think she was 90.
99, yeah, she was 90.
She was 90. Another thing I was thinking, because Ishmael and Israel, they sound like two quite similar in name. But Ishmael being man's way, and then Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, who then became Israel, being God's fulfillment of the covenant and the promise.
Yeah.
And then just because like when we're reading in chapter 15 where he had that vision of the covenant and the Lord with the fire and the incense down the divided pieces of the heifer, the young goat,
And the ram,
all 3 years of
turtle
age,
dove.
the turtle dove and the young pigeon.
Mm.
So surely, it almost seemed like reading that Abram was just going with the flow.
Yeah. Or even like, if you had just seen God speak to you about a covenant, wouldn't you speak to your wife what you saw or what God had shown you that she'd be a part of the promise too? I just found that, like, again, it's about communication between a husband and a wife. I think when you receive a revelation, you get excited that you share. And same with me, I share any revelation that I would get. I would be so excited to share. But I don't think he did that. And then to hand over your handmaid, maybe in those days it was a common thing because they were populating the earth. Because he didn't say he wasn't going to do it. He just trusted Sarai, and thinking that she was the helpmate, that she knew what she was saying. But it was interesting. He didn't quarrel with her. He didn't question her rationale. He just went along with it.
Verse 14, I quite like the name where Hagar named the place where the angel of the Lord spoke with her.
Oh, yeah.
The well of him that lives and sees me.
A well to the living one who sees me. Bear Lahai Roy.
Bear Lahai Roy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess it's relatable, taking matters into our own hands when we don't see the promise and we sabotage our promises, or
Trying to,
we quickly microwave something that's not ready to be taste and see sort of thing. That was interesting.
Trying to be God in our own lives, maybe.
Yeah.
And the fact that Hagar was Egyptian when the Lord spoke to Moses about future generations would, be slaves or be in bondage for 400 years in Egypt. I was thinking, like, with the way that Sarai was treating Hagar, had she treated her better, might that have lessened the number of years for Israel being being in bondage to Pharaoh in Egypt.
Not some correlation between the two.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just thinking out loud.
But interesting that Hagar was an Egyptian woman.
Yes.
Verse 9, the angel of the Lord said to her, go back to your mistress and humbly submit to her control. That would be so hard. That's in verse 9. It would be hard. But then after you see the angel of the Lord appear, you would just focus on, he said do this, so I'm going to do that.
Well, that, and it is the angel of the Lord that's speaking with you, so pardon me. So that was our reading today.
Yep, that was good reading. Busy day today at work. Couple of Zooms, but yeah, it's quite exciting. Day 16, it's...
Had a little bit of an incident this morning. I upset my wife because was a bit anxious about an upcoming event that I'm taking part in, and instead of taking it to the Lord as I know I should be doing every time, I fell back into bad habits, and I was
He was really short with me. I was reading the word, like reading the chapter. I kind of know when he's upset though, like quite triggered, because I said, "Why are you triggered?"
No, you didn't.
I
You
did.
just no.
I said, "Why are you triggered this morning?"
No,
And you were
didn't say
like,
that.
you walked away, and then you came back. Sorry. It's like, I'm not a sounding board for that sort of thing.
But you forgave me, so that's good.
Well, I'm
Thank you
quick
for
to
that.
forgive, and ladies, got to be quick to forgive and move on.
And it's also for us brothers that when you're going through stuff, not using your wife, your partner, your family as
That's really right.
it's like, punching bags, not physical punching bags, but taking all your stress out on them.
And
That's why it's good.
even if you just wake up early in the morning and you're stressed already, it's like you only just opened your eyes. How do you be stressed as soon as you open your eyes? I don't get it.
Well,
And then I just started reading the word, and then he was like, "Oh, you're missing words." It's like, I'm reading to you. When you say amen, Lord bless the reading of your word, it's his word. It's just
But
little
if I
things
can,
like that.
if I can share, when people are reading from the same page, if somebody's not reading a
you
word,
had your
which
eyes
is,
closed because you were like, "Oh, it's deep breathing."
but then when I'm reading with you and we're both looking at the same text,
I don't judge
but
him
then
when he misses words, but for some
I think
reason
it's a
he
valid.
critiques.
I think it's a valid point. If, for example, look at this. Can you read this sentence there, just up to there?
Why?
Just read that. Go.
Mentioned earlier.
See,
we
you missed as.
had.
You missed
Yeah, I did it on
as.
purpose.
Well,
Gosh.
that's.
So I could annoy you.
Well, then, if you're doing that on purpose, that's not really good, is it?
Well, Brian, you just tested me on a live, and so I tested you back.
Well, you failed.
Well, I think I passed, actually. Anyway, that's our reading. Day 16 is done. I hope you're enjoying your word. Share with us
Yes.
your revelation. I think Genesis for me on this journey has helped me fall in love deeper in the word, and I just wake up excited to read the next chapter. Yeah, so
I think it's also good doing little studies, like you can read a description in Amplified. It might be something as like a God, and then you go to the description and it'll give like a full-on this is da 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 da, or
yes.
doing like I like looking up different places, like the one from chapter 16 today, Behelaroi, where again it's a word you don't hardly hear, but then reading the meaning, the well of him that lives and sees me, it's such a beautiful description.
Someone named their child Bear Lahai Roy.
No, that was the name of the well.
I know, but a well can be a name of a person.
Okay.
Lahai Roy. Bear Lahai Roy. Oh, it's a mouth twister.
So please feel free, if you are joining us on this journey, reading, always encouraging you to share your thoughts around the chapter of the day, or if there's anything that you would like to share, maybe something that's happening in your life or something that we might be able to discuss or pray with and come into agreement with you, please share.
Yes. Yeah, it's not a spectator. I hope people are having meanings, takeaways from just spending time with the Lord and reading for themselves. This is different. We're not pastors. We're not it's about you having a relationship with the Lord and knowing what your next step is, and moving into what God has for you. And that way you're only reliant on you. You're not reliant on a system. Reliant on you and God. Like you've got your relationship happening with Him. That was day 16. Hey Nori, I'll ring you later. Very good.
Okay.
Anyway, take care everyone. Have a good night. It's cold here.
Yeah, it's getting cold.
We have to leave the sliding
Winter,
door open a little bit
4th
for the
of
dogs,
June.
But
Man, for those in the Northern Hemisphere, enjoying your summer, no doubt.
yeah. All right, thank you very much. Good night.
Good night, everyone. Go out and change the world.